Okay, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 44. We have officially come down from our
WrestleMania
high.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's honestly that's
really
about
what
it.
Was.
There's stuff has happened, but we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
A lot of weird stuff, but talking.
Yeah. That's
it's a weird promo this week, but that's about it.
That's the intro. I mean, 44 WrestleMania high stuff to talk about.
Yay.
With that being said, here we go.
Welcome back to another episode of GQ Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin. That is Garrett. Episode 44. 44. We're here. We made it. It may seem like a weirdly laid back episode because it kind of is because, well, if you watched wrestling the last week and a half, you'd be as relaxed as we are right now because I have some interesting things that I gotta lay off my chest because I feel like I just feel like some things that I need to talk about that
I feel like you need to acknowledge your tribal goose.
I do need to acknowledge my tribal goose. Link in the bio. I will not lie. This tribal goose thing was a joke at first.
Huge.
It's turned into a cult following on social media. If you're not familiar and you haven't been watching for the last several months, I live in an apartment, third floor apartment. My view to the lake that I get to look at every day. There was a day, just like any other day, during the heat of Bloodline Wars, I happened to be sitting in that beautiful leather chair over there, and I looked out to the top of the lakeshore building that I live at, and there was a goose just stoically looking across the land. And I said, let's just throw the tribal chief's music behind it, zoom in dramatically, and see our tribal goose. As I said on the video, acknowledge your tribal goose. You have to acknowledge him, yada, yada, yada. That video blew up to like 12,000 views, several hundred comments and likes and shares and saved videos out the wazoo. I was blown away. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Then he disappeared. But then there was a day I was going to work and sitting in my truck, and I looked up from the parking lot, and there he was again on the corner of the building.
In the
rain. And it was just, you know what? We're going to keep doing this. So I turned on that tribal music, zoomed in dramatically on the goose. That video got to almost 20,000 views. Multiple wrestling content creators saw it and commented, shared, liked. It was amazing. So then we made a t-shirt of it. And by we, I mean Ryan. Just thank you, Ryan, for the amazing t-shirt.
Thank you, Ryan.
So, he created this beautiful t-shirt. It is the dumbest shirt in the world, and I love it to death. It is a picture of a goose. That's all it is, and it just says, I acknowledge my tribal goose. So then, it went a couple months. The goose disappeared. Gone. Well, as I'm walking out to my rental car, as I was going to go pick up my truck, lo and behold, right next to my vehicle was a goose standing on top of a Maverick, stoically looking during the storm that was that day. And I did it again. Tribal goose again. It is now up to about 6,000 views, several hundred likes, comments out the rear. And we're hoping for someday that our tribal chief might see it. I doubt he ever will. But maybe the tribal chief might get to it with his following.
Tagging everybody.
So if you really want to have some fun with it, you can go to my personal page. It's Justin W. Query. That's where it's at. It's not on the GQ page. Because it started on mine, I might as well end it over there. It's Wednesday. We've got Dynamite on in the background. Like we do every week. We started off with, how was your week? How was I saw your amazing non-tan tan lines from
Oh, God.
Sunday's long venture.
That was never again.
Never again?
Never
So
again.
you experienced what
Yes.
I experienced
Yes.
that day.
Yeah.
Doing a double round at a tournament
Yep.
literally murders your soul and body, and it hurts you to the core.
Yep.
Got it. How'd you shoot? You guys didn't say anything on the chat.
First round, we finished 9 under. Second round, we finished 5 under.
So second, you tired?
Yeah. Second round sucked.
That's what good old Jeremy told me today.
Yeah. He
said he was dying.
He was cramping up real bad.
He said both of his calves seized up.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. He got the sunburn on the dome.
No one ever wants a burnt dome burn.
No.
I have no hair, so I get it. That's why I'm wearing the cap. It's just I can't imagine not having a.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was not good.
It was not good. But Saturday night we all got together and watched UFC 300. Good times.
Yeah.
It was just a really chill night. We really didn't do a whole lot. It was just we all were happy and merry, and there we are. Is this how the match is going to really end? Oh, they didn't. Okay. Well, Julia's not going to get in the ring. Yeah, it was a really relaxing weekend. Really didn't do a whole ton.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
And then here we are this week and going from there. Like we said, we don't break down episodes. We break down chunks of things that we see.
Highlights.
So I want to kick it off with this. You tell me how you feel about it. Because obviously the last several weeks, obviously at WrestleMania, we heard it's a new era. It's a new time. It's the Hunter era. It's everything.
It's the Paul Levesque era.
So,
Julia wins.
So I'm not saying it's not been, eye-opening, crazy, woohoo, yaha, yay. But do you feel like Monday Night Raw
was real boring?
Has lacked?
Yeah.
Do you believe that it all goes down to every main event character is now on the IR and they're not there, and now they're having to use what I would call the B team to make the show go on?
The 1B. The 1B team, not the 1A team.
Yeah. Did you feel that like how I felt it on Monday?
Yeah, but it was nice to see, I guess, different faces being showcased. Dominic and Andrade.
What did you think?
I thought it was a decent match. We've said this before. Dominic has come a long way from where he was when he joined Judgment.
Well, when he decided to break off and kick Edge in the balls and then kick Ray in the balls and do his own thing. And it was a subtle feature, and I bet everybody noticed it like I did. He's starting to more and more morph himself looking like a young Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
That stash completely made it to a point where his mold is long enough, like how Eddie looked like in WCW. He's starting to do every mannerism you can think of like Eddie in WCW. And it's showing that he's finally morphing into the new age of WCW.
He's the new Latino Heat.
But now he loses his mommy.
That's all right.
Can he withstand the pressure without Rhea Ripley alone? Now, even if you take McDonough out too.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
I think this last, I don't know, it felt uncomfortable this past week on Raw, where I was not that excited to watch Raw this week. I was bothered actually.
I wasn't super invested in it. There were a couple things that I was invested in, but not.
Okay, so like for one thing, I don't get this turn that they're gonna make Candace and Indy heels. I liked the whole dynamic. If Candace was a heel and Indy wasn't, kind of a thing, the good and evil like partnership, it was working. And then this week, the Indy turn by corruption, and I don't think it's gonna go well. I don't think that's gonna go well.
I don't think so.
I think the relinquishing of Rhea's title is a bad play as well. In my opinion, I think it's a bad play, and I'll give you some reasons because I've held this back for a couple days. You tell me. My own thing. They let Seth carry the title for 4 months without having to do a match, without having to defend the title, without having to do anything. And they let him speak every week. They let him be on the screen. They incorporated him into the storyline without having to have any interactions, anything at all physical until they approved him to go. Now, obviously, I don't know the extent of her shoulder injury.
The AC joint.
But obviously, when somebody's had a shoulder injury, aka like Finn, when he won his title and had the separated shoulder, had to have the surgery,
right,
relinquish your title.
So
I feel like you had this massive WrestleMania, humongous victory for the women's division. And then obviously you can't, this industry that we love so very, very much, you can't predict if an injury is going to happen.
Maybe her and Buddy are getting married.
I thought that too, but also,
I don't know. Maybe she wanted to go home and take a nap and drink some milk.
Link in the bio. I'm so dumb. Link in the bio. I will say, I just didn't like that for the women's division that's already hurting. There's not
it though?
I think so. On Monday Night Raw, I do. Not on SmackDown. But all your big players are on SmackDown. But also, this might be complaining into the draft coming up this next week.
But you've also got a lot of young talent on Monday Night Raw that mostly have been showcased in tag team matches when they are primarily singles competitors.
What people are
Ivy Nile.
Okay. So, and a faction. Okay.
Valhalla.
Okay.
Sarah Logan.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of Tegan Knox, Natalia.
Natty's back in NXT.
Becky Lynch.
Well, then again, though, with Becky, like we said before,
Nia Jax lives there. I mean, there is talent aplenty on the Raw roster. It just is up to Adam Pearce to
strangle them?
Yes.
Why are you strangling?
Put them in the place where they can flourish, I guess.
So I'm not saying it's like the weakest time, like with the women's title, because we've seen the weakest times. There's been weaker times, but because Rhea's dominated for so long with this title, where you don't know,
like 2007 to 2014ish,
before the call up,
before the revolution,
women's revolution. I don't know. I feel like they could have prolonged it a little bit. Or maybe I just the whole fact of relinquishing it hurts. I think her losing the title against somebody, I think that would have been a little bit better.
Or maybe it's worse than we think.
Possibly, but they haven't given any information whatsoever besides the joint. That's it. And I don't know. I heard about it earlier in the day before they had announced it. With the contact that I have behind the scenes, it was nice to see that it was truthful and what have you.
Right.
But you can't go back to it was Liv's attack in the.
They just cut off the fucking video package.
Oh, look, Tony's on the screen.
I'm sorry, but that was fucking funny. Okay.
Wow.
Anyways,
I have no idea. I did. Yeah.
oh god, Nick's goatee is on fucking point.
To be fair, that's a fresh, darkened job on that, or his fresh tan. One of the two. Can't really tell if it's either one.
Maybe
either one. Any hoozle, what's it's? I don't know. I just felt like if they let Seth go for so long without having to do a match, why not let Rhea go for a little bit longer?
Maybe she didn't want to.
You saw that promo. There are some like, oh, she's playing to the audience, but there were some things that were said that were pure out of her own.
I really, really think that she is hurt worse
than we think,
than we have been led to believe. Yes.
I don't know. I feel bad because there are. I don't know. They had a better storyline going, and obviously with last week's Raw, we saw what could be a really good faction getting all the titles. And now you lose Mommy, which you can still have a faction getting more titles. But we'll talk about tonight the draft coming up, because there's going to be some implications that there might be some movement of things. And that's the second portion of the podcast, that we need to make some predicciones on how, who, what, where, and what's going to be the bigger impacts on Monday Night Raw or on Friday Night SmackDown. Also, I could sure shit say whatever I want. It's kind of like seeing our boy Tommy Dreamer at the Hall of Fame. Never mentioned him, never said his name one time. Even during Paul's Hall of Fame speech, he never mentioned Tommy Dreamer. And yet,
I told you he'd be there.
He was there.
Bully was there.
They referenced Bully a ton, but he's also not under contract with another company.
Right.
He's just on his own. Now, obviously, Tommy's different. But they've also let the reins go back a little bit more, where you can speak freely and be at events. Now, also, we still haven't had the sighting that we all saw during Hall of Fame. We saw a Keith Lee sighting at Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, because
he's dating or he's with somebody.
Meechin.
Yeah, he's with Meechin.
Yeah.
And did you see Big E?
Fact, Big E dating her sister.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Also, in light of Big E's thing too, did you see the news about Big E?
Chocolate wontons. Anyways.
Wow. Wow.
What about Big E?
They did the official scans again of his neck, and they did the official, hey, are you going to be able to be cleared? He has officially said it's not, and it's never going to happen. It's not going to be in the books. He's happy where he's at. Would he like to wrestle again? He said yes, but his neck is fused. They said he's healthy, but they also told him not to take those precautions and make sure you're pretty serious about your life, because he could have been paralyzed.
I honestly, though, I like him on like the pre-show stuff and doing. I think he would be great on commentary.
I think we talked about this a couple months ago.
Him and Booker T on NXT. Let's go.
Well, then you keep what's his face down there with him to do at least play-by-play.
What is it, Big Joseph?
I think so. But still, you keep one person down there to do play-by-play and have Booker T and Big E. I love where he's at with Big E. He's going to turn into Oh, what's his hoorah, hoorah? What the heck's his name?
Titus.
He's gonna turn into the next Titus O'Neil and be the best brand ambassador for the company.
Good.
I think it's a perfect place for him.
Great.
Because look at him. He's the big lovable monster. And again, not that I condone going to this school, but he's putting Iowa on the map just like Caitlin Clark is. Just like, at ringside both nights at WrestleMania, you got to see George Kittle, who's repping everything that is the state of Iowa and San Francisco. It's nice to see Iowa get some recognition in the wrestling. I will not lie. I am starting to corrupt my work with wrestling in the best way possible.
Okay.
Because everybody's feeds on their TikToks and Instagrams, it's weird. It's all starting to come up with wrestling stuff.
So weird.
It's so weird. And what better part is that one guy goes, I'm thinking about getting the game. Playing 2K again. I go, did you play it when it was good back in the day? He goes, I remember the best times as a child putting in Here Comes the Pain.
Ugh. Gross.
And playing co-op mode with your friends. Doing the 2-on-2 match. Oh, sorry, the tag team matches where you could play against each other and play against other people. I think that's perfect. I love that everybody around me is starting to get back into wrestling. I think it's the greatest time to get back into wrestling. Even better, so I was at lunch today, and a guy had his phone out, and all of a sudden I heard a familiar voice. Very familiar. But not WWE familiar, not AEW familiar. An older voice. But not old. I'm meaning like a little on the extreme old.
That'd be Paul Heyman?
No, actually, he liked forks.
Oh, New Jack?
New Jack.
Huh.
And his phone is faced like this, and I heard it was the promo where New Jack threatened to throw him off.
Yep.
And I'm hearing it, and I go, "Is that New Jack?" He goes, "What you know about New Jack?" I go, "What do I not know about New Jack?" That man threatened to physically kill somebody if he ever had a match with them. And then they gave him a match with him.
And
he physically threw him off scaffolding, and he hit
threw a bunch of tables
and almost broke his neck and died.
And New Jack said that the only regret that he had from that match was that he hit the tables.
He aimed in the wrong spot.
He was trying to throw him past the tables.
Yeah, he wanted to throw if I remember correctly, he wanted to hit like the ring posts or something.
Wanted to throw him. He said he wanted him to hit the floor,
and he definitely missed.
Oh yeah,
he definitely missed.
He got the apples.
So I have one question for you before I ironically go into our first break, which seems very odd, but we've been getting into this more and it's easier now. What did you think of Dwayne being at Monday Night Raw last week talking to Cody? Did you think it was a period or did you think it was a comma?
I think it was a comma.
You think it was a comma?
For sure.
Now, comma as in meaning SummerSlam or WrestleMania again?
Probably SummerSlam.
Okay. I had this thought. Now, I hope our amazing videography takes this up with this thought. I want to see this. I had a good conversation with somebody the other day. Actually, it was a listener, not my sister. It was actually a good listener that had a question, and I thought this was a perfect question to bring up because that's the whole point of what we do with content creating and is asking these questions. So I ask you the question that I got asked. Do you believe
in miracles?
If you believe that right now WWE is following closely to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That what we saw at WrestleMania was Avengers. we got the beginning. Like, we've set up the story. We've got our heroes. We saw the Avengers. Well, we're about to go into this next, as they do in Marvel, the next phase. We're about to see the Civil War. Based off of what happened
I think we're going to see a Bloodline Civil War for
sure. We're seeing, on Friday, Solo establishing the dominance that he is the true tribal chief.
Well, he's currently the head of the Bloodline as it sits.
And
it's just him and Tama.
But people have forgotten that Tama was not the only Fatu that signed.
He's not a Fatu. Calm down.
Tama Tonga. But there was another family member, bloodline member that signed over the last month that has not shown his face yet.
Jacob.
Zilla. Zilla also signed as well. So think about this. If somehow you put Paul in the middle and has to choose between Solo, Tama, Jacob, Zilla, other side, it's going to happen. We know this. That Jimmy and Jay will get their differences set. They'll re-sync up again. And you're going to have Roman
as a
face, Jay, Jimmy, and a player to be named later.
But the honorary Uce.
Might possibly. But think about, so what do you feel like? I had that question. I went, you know what? That's actually not a bad way to single into the next phase where you split the bloodline up and you do storylines and get this going again.
If you look at it, though, too, you could take Roman, Jimmy, and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, you have Solo, Tama, and Zilla.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle.
You fight for Jacob.
Trying to figure out
which side
he fits better into, because realistically what it is it's generational.
100%.
You have the young bloods on this side.
Pretty much. And the old heads on the other.
And realistically, age-wise, Jacob is
smack dab in the middle. Yep.
And then, I mean, realistically, it could just be, and more than likely, Jacob winds up with Solo,
right?
And
no, of course,
crew, and then you have these three, and then you can kind of plug and play whoever. I mean, you could put Sammy in there, or you get Hikuleo.
So, I thought the same thing.
There's too many variables that you can realistically fantasy book in that scenario. And then hell, you know what? Fucking payoffs at Survivor Series, and they have tribal warfare games.
I'm saying, I think WWE, obviously they were going to continue Bloodline anyway.
This
but you have the
hottest story.
It's in your hands. It's right there. And to end it, to going into the break, you could have two big heads leading these groups. Not Solo and Roman. One side, you get me Rikishi, and then on the other side, you give me Haku. Give me the two heads on both sides. I think you can do it.
Nope.
I think you can do it.
New bloodline.
Okay.
Rock at the head.
Okay.
Solo, Zilla, Tama. Then, on the other side, you have Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Jacob. Bang!
And still have your old heads that lead the both sides with the Rikishi and Haku.
And nobody wants to fuck with Haku!
I don't think anybody wants to fuck with Rikishi either.
I would rather
fuck with Rikishi.
Fuck with Rikishi.
Understandable. With that being said, autorials?
Because Haku's going to rip your fucking throat out.
What was that sound? Got it. On Turtles, we'll be right back. We have made such amazing progress on this podcast journey and are pumped to share our first sponsor with you guys tonight, W Energy. W is on a mission to change the game and create a better future for energy drinks, and we are so excited to partner with them. W is your taste buds' favorite energy drink that comes with all the good stuff and none of the crash. Formulated with vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including their patented neurofactor. W gives you clean energy and laser focus without any fillers, maltodextrin, or anti-official colors. Just mix 1 scoop with 8 ounces of cold water and you're ready to tackle whatever the day throws at you. Even better, W ships worldwide, so whatever corner of the world you're listening to us from, you can enjoy it too. With some awesome flavors and growing following, see what all the buzz is about and get on board with the clean energy movement. Try it today with our exclusive promo code available to all GQ podcast listeners. With the promo code of GQPOD10. Once again, it is GQPOD10. Do better with W. Welcome back, you beautiful bastards.
Until we eat again.
I loved that.
Love it.
It went Jay until we eat again. I thought that was perfect. I did.
Great.
I really did. What did you think of Solo stomping on good old Paulie's phone after he said, "Call Roman"? Bam.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean,
do you like it?
It's kind.
Do you like that Solo's talking?
It's kind of it gives you it gives the viewers a bigger grasp on the fact that, for all intents and purposes, Solo's in charge.
I think most people underplayed this, and tell me if you think differently. On night 2 of WrestleMania, when he came out and they did the Samoan Spike, and him yelling at Roman, going, "Finish it!" And Roman, "I know." I think that right there was the shift, saying, you know what? Maybe Solo's been running this for the whole time behind the scenes, and we don't realize it. Maybe he wasn't just the enforcer.
No,
Maybe
he's just he's the heir apparent.
That's a big word. Heir apparent.
And Daniel Garcia just died.
I like watching death. That's my favorite. I'm sorry. What?
Huh.
Did we miss something? Or maybe it hasn't happened yet. AEW just put out a post that welcome to the AEW commentary team, Carlos Cabrera
and Hugo Savinovich.
I'm in for that.
Yeah, I love Carlos Cabrera, dude.
The Spanish announce team was lacking at WrestleMania without him. Tell me I'm wrong. It's just different.
I really enjoyed Hugo Savinovich because seeing Gabriel Iglesias when he was bigger. Hugo Savinovich.
So I've got a couple things to bring about. And this is the portion where I bring up some stuff that I think is amazing, but also getting your comments on. So, they haven't officially announced, and nor will they, where WrestleMania 41 is going to be at. They have some time. They haven't solidified it yet. There are rumors that it's now down to 2 places. It's either in Las Vegas, Nevada, or it's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the U.S. Bank Stadium. So WWE is pitching their ideas to these cities, and they're giving their ideas back. If you think if you don't think the recent production change looks good, imagine WWE shows or WrestleMania inside the Sphere.
I saw that on Instagram today, and I was like,
I don't think WrestleMania, but a WWE show would be interesting.
there's not enough seating.
No, it's only
in
on one
that
side,
place.
too. It's only on one side.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never seen the
I
Sphere,
mean, you could do. I mean, realistically, you could do Survivor Series
yeah, one side.
there,
Yeah,
and it's warm.
yeah. But the thing is with the Sphere, it's a trippy experience anyway.
Oh yeah.
But it couldn't host a WrestleMania. There's just no possible way. But that's if they want to make that an added feature, I guess you could. You could put WrestleMania inside the black hole over in Raider Stadium.
Yeah.
Because they do have that the open ceiling that they could lift out and you can look above it, and it's in the desert, so I can see that. But pure selfish reasons, I want it 2.5 hours north.
Yeah.
So I can sell my ever-loving body to do whatever I need to do.
I don't even care.
I'll have to.
I just want to go to StarCast.
See,
we talked about this a few weeks ago. Yes, going to WrestleMania would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience that would absolutely rival going to the Field of Dreams game.
it's going to be hard because that Field of Dreams game, it's
a rival. Not beat. Rival.
Well, yeah, like we talked about with the Field of Dreams, we were one of 7,000 people in the middle of the cornfields.
Yeah.
And I like winning the lottery that we talked about the year previously, and Andy knowing one of the people that won the lottery in the year before, and then me winning it for the Cubs. It's just that one holds its own tier, but going that way to WrestleMania up in US Bank, it's like all, and we talked about the memes the other day. I'm not doing it for me. Like now I'm doing it for the 10-year-old kid that watching pay-per-views in my living room as a kid.
Doing it for the 8 or 10-year-old kid that watched Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania in a ladder match.
Oh, it just gives me chills.
Or that young kid that watched a 60-minute Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm. I really hope people in the in headquarters think about you would bringing WrestleMania to the Midwest, to the heart of the Midwest, really, outside of Detroit.
And there's a dome.
And it
doesn't have to be outside, unlike Philadelphia, where it's cold like the hearts of the people that live there.
And what's really funny about that is that Philadelphia wants to host it again, but because of how bad night one was, they're thinking, I don't know.
They might give them SummerSlam.
Yeah, outside is fine.
SummerSlam will be warm.
Yeah, outside is fine.
Yeah,
but it's like saying, hey, Kansas City, you get to host WrestleMania. Would you sit outside at Arrowhead in April?
Negative.
It will be negative, or it would.
It would need to be west, like in the desert-ish, or south.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking northeast is off limits outside for WrestleMania.
I thought they learned their lesson in New York
when it rained. Yeah, and it was Rain-a-mania
in New York. Yeah,
and do you remember Samoa Joe on commentary in a poncho?
Okay, so I was gonna bring that up too, because we saw last week. There's a lot of shots fired again. We're going back and forth with shots firing companies. And AEW they put their hat in the ring by saying, you know what? WWE, you treated these people as jokes, and look what they're doing here in AEW. Which you saw Samoa Joe, sidelines, poncho. Now he's the AEW World Champion. Toni Storm, it was a pie in the face, and now she's the Women's World Champion. Cesaro wearing a pumpkin on his head now, and him being more prevalent than he's ever been with being
Swerve, never seeing a minute of TV, and now he's challenging for the heavyweight title and probably winning it at Dynasty
on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little difficult to watch. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it yet. Got to figure that out. Got to still figure that one out. Well, I'm going to watch it. I just don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Just for the sake of
on the TV.
Yeah, it's a kid weekend. It's a lot harder to watch pay-per-views on the weekends with the children. You have solutions?
Maybe a solution.
You have solutions?
I will talk to the lady.
Yeah.
And we can just come here. Because I know that she would like to see
my children?
Tiny humans.
The only bad part is with the Saurus that lives downstairs that just makes me nervous. But I would like that. It might be easier. Anywho's what's it? So that was my thought about WrestleMania. I don't think it needs to go to Vegas. I just don't, because Vegas is out there. It's always going to be available. They've done Vegas.
They've got their own attractions.
They do, and they got Did you see the new A Stadium mock-up?
Mm-hmm. Looks fucking sweet.
I love it.
Yeah,
love it. But I hate it for Oakland. Now Oakland has they have no teams. Oakland doesn't have a team left.
Oh no!
It's because of bad ownership
and because Oakland's a shithole.
It's just because it's bad ownership. It's just
and it's a shithole.
What is it?
Shit hole.
Making sure.
Question.
Answer.
What do you think The Rock put in Cody Rhodes' hand last week on Monday Night Raw?
I know what it is.
You know what it is, or you think you know what it is?
I think I know.
Is it a piece of jewelry?
I believe it is a piece of jewelry. I believe it's a watch.
The gold Rolex?
I believe so. You don't think it was the gold Rolex?
They gave it to him at the presser after the show.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know it was jewelry of some sort. Something that's memorable between his father and
something
Dwayne.
That belonged to Dusty.
Correct. Yeah, I think Dusty gave him. Oh wait. No. I know it. What was it? It was the thing that he pawned for Cody.
That wasn't the watch.
Yeah. Shit. Was it a ring?
Yep.
Okay, because I remember the story of his dad pawning the watch, pawning the ring that they could never find, and then somehow they located it, found it after 30 plus years.
There's no they.
Was it Dwayne?
Dwayne found it.
Okay. So I saw it, but I don't remember the whole story or saw something about it. One, Dwayne is just he's something different. He just is. He's done more, and we had a whole episode about this a while back. He's done more in the last 20 years than he's done in his wrestling career.
Well, and I love the fact that he can absolutely play this shit heel on TV, and it's so believable.
It is.
But at the presser,
why does Chris Jericho have a goatee?
The presser on WrestleMania Saturday comes out, his big smile on his face, and he is the biggest fucking babyface in the room.
But did you hear the kid comment that flipped him real fast at WWE World?
Yes.
So he's up there, he's having fun with the crowd, and they go, "Oh, what's your question? Why do you feel like it's your? Why do you feel like you deserve the title over Cody?"
Yeah.
And it was, well, how old are you? Yeah. Answer the question.
Right, and this is like somewhere between an 8 and 12-year-old kid.
It's like if Austin went up there and asked him these like questions, and I think he held back every little bit of cussing you could think of. He goes, "Well, all those Cody crybabies out there." He goes, "I saw you cry." Dwayne, I don't know what you're gonna do with that. Dwayno.
I love that. I thought that was funny.
So speaking of the whole WrestleMania and what was everybody that came out there, it came out that originally
Taz is not happy. Jericho just said shush and put his hand right in Taz's face.
I could see it. I'm waiting for Taz to turn on Jericho right now. It was found out that Oh! On.
I think a lot of people know this. Taz has been dealing with a knee issue for a number of years. And I think we've all known that as announcers.
For the auditorial people and the people on YouTube, if you can't hear it, the crowd is chanting, "You fucked up." He pushed down.
Now, if it was also on USA Network or Fox, you would have heard, you boop boop.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Wow. Hook speaks?
Now get out of my ring.
Hook speaks?
Look, you don't mean this. Come on, you don't mean. Get out of my ring. Remember Hook's beaten Jericho once before? Yes, convincingly.
Don't get at my ring, boy.
You know Jericho's going to swing.
Hit him with the microphone. Don't get, boy.
This is again very. You don't usually see
Swerve, Taz turns on his son.
Jericho crossed the line. I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh, he's not even in the ring.
This is such a weird situation to me because does Jericho
Weird. That was very awkward. Anyways, it was said that Undertaker's big bell ring was supposed to be Steve Austin because WWE and Steve could not find a number.
Mark didn't know until Sunday morning.
Yeah, because they were trying to get Steve a number and they couldn't find a number they liked. And I hate it. I'm a big Steve Austin guy. If anybody knows me, I love Steve Austin.
He doesn't need the money.
That
He would rather sit at home on his ranch in his little rocking chair, drinking Broken Skull IPAs and petting his fucking cat. He loves that cat.
it bothered me
Did it?
once I heard that, because it's like hearing your idol not want to do something because the money's not right. I don't want it. Do you realize that, don't get me wrong, it was great to see Taker. But for storyline purposes, they did it on purpose for the standouts. You know it. Because it was Dwayne and John. Boom. Dwayne and Stone Cold. That was the passing of the torch. And now you add Taker, and Taker never had that moment with Dwayne to a point where it was supposed to be like that detrimental. And it pissed me off because you didn't show up because of money? He's so well off. And I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I lost a lot of respect for Steve Austin for not doing the right thing for fans and doing it for pure selfish reasons for money. And I know Taker's on the payroll. So again, hear me, that I know he's getting paid.
He's already there.
But my thing is, for him, it was a cathartic moment. He said, that was my moment knowing I've closed the book. I felt good about it. I'm done. Great. But if it was Steve, it would have meshed so much better because of the previous WrestleManias. And they promoted it on that night that Dwayne was kicking Cody's ass in the parking lot. They showed both of them on the semi. It was there on purpose. And then you do that. It bugged me so much. And once I heard this week that it was because of money, that made me so upset. It really makes me mad. Yeah. I wasn't planning on going there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stone Cold sob story.
It hurts. It makes me so upset. Because I'm like, we could have gotten a Stone Cold sighting Even if it was,
Wasn't that a Stone Cold sighting last year? 2 years ago.
It was like 2 years ago. It wasn't last year. But still, though, that was a Kevin Owens thing, and with the way this whole WrestleMania was going, it would have added that last thing that it should have been a perfect. But
But did they need it?
did they need Taker? Did they need another thing? No. It was great to have it, and I loved every bit of it. But again, everything that happened this past week with WrestleMania, it got so viral that all these other podcasters that I've seen are talking about it. It's on national news everywhere. And it's exposing such a big light for wrestling again.
Well, maybe that just shows that Steve's a greedy fuck.
Evidently. So like for example, there was a video that went out this past week that I loved.
Sorry, guys.
And kind of analyze it like we analyze like Game of Thrones, like the story. These motherfuckers are some of the greatest storytellers. I saw a 5-minute clip of like they bring out John Cena, they bring out The Rock, The Undertaker makes an appearance, and the way they fucking deliver with every one of these massive cameos, it's like perfect. Yeah. You're watching it. I don't know any of this wrestling. I'm watching this. When The Undertaker comes on, I'm like, I'm so hyped. And then they had this guy, Cody Rhodes, win. And again, years in the making. Wow. And then this guy, Roman Reigns, they love him so much as the girl is announcing the new champion and like Roman's losing the title. And they kind of think this is the beginning of him retiring. She's literally crying as she's making the announcement. Like, everybody's so invested in the story. Everybody's aware it's fake. And it's just like character development, storytelling. It's fucking unbelievable.
So, if you obviously YouTube probably didn't hear that. This was a comedian that took a serious moment going, WWE took over the world for a whole entire like last couple months, and it got so big that all these cameos and everything like that. And I think at this point right now, WWE wrestling is so not even wrestling. WWE is so hot right now that you need to ride the train, and I just don't want them to mess this up. I don't. And I don't think Paul's going to fumble the bag, but I also don't want them to mess this up. It's so good right now. It is. It is so good right now. And AEW is falling apart.
I've been saying that for weeks.
Well, then you'll love this because we made a joke of it a couple weeks ago. We got to see this generation's Rick Rude last week on television. We had a wrestler that was on 2 different shows at the same time in 2 different companies.
Yeah, too bad it's that guy.
But I want to point this out.
Too bad it's that guy.
Did AEW screw up?
I don't know. I'd be interesting to see what the metrics were last week
Versus right now?
versus what it was the week before, and compared to this week, even like just because obviously you're doing stuff like that to
Ratings.
pop a rating,
Of course.
and if it did indeed pop a rating for them last week, great.
Right, no.
But
It's exposure.
If nothing changed, then you basically put your foot in your mouth and essentially bit your own toes off.
So that was my thing, is that this past week, WWE's done a good job in not being petty, but the world knew that Punk said what he said, and AEW said, we're going to fire back and we got our own stuff. Did you know that Jungle Boy's merch recordly shot up through the roof and sold out in a matter of a night because of that footage? We haven't talked about Jack Perry in months. Well, Jungle Boy. That's his name. His dad's dead.
Oh, the scapegoat.
That guy.
Gotcha.
We haven't talked about him in months. He has been relevant. Even in New Japan, he's not been that relevant. And now he's more relevant than ever because of a video that didn't have any audio.
From 8 months ago.
That didn't have any audio.
Relevant.
I'm saying the way culture is nowadays, you could be famous for 30 seconds and then it's gone instantly.
I just I don't know. I think that was maybe part of the lead up to bringing the old
Jack Perry back?
Jack Perry back.
Fair.
But
anything can happen. Honestly, the way this world lives, and especially with AEW and New Japan, anything can happen with that.
right.
I do want to bring this up before we our last segment will be going over the pay-per-view that's coming up on Sunday and the WWE draft coming up this next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw this post today, and it's very interesting. Right now, this is a list of names in WWE that their contracts are set to expire in the next couple months.
Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch,
Oh, do you want to play that game?
Drew McIntyre,
Hold on. So you had
Natalia.
Seth Rollins. That's on the list.
Becky,
Becky's on the list.
Drew,
Drew's on the list.
Natalia.
Natty is not on the list. I believe she's still signed for a little bit longer.
That's not what I heard today. But anyways,
It's not on this list. But Wade Barrett.
he's
But-
not going anywhere.
No, he's not. But Wade's on the list. Sammy is on the list.
Did you see this?
Chugs
and Uno, let's go! All Elite Arcade.
Wow.
I love it.
Ricochet.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's leaving, obviously, with his boo-boo being the announcer.
He's on such a hot streak.
Randy. He's not going anywhere. McAfee, you'd be happy to see him leave, but he's not going anywhere.
Bye, Pat.
He's not going anywhere. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Big E.
And all three of them will get signed again.
Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins.
Peace.
That's your own personal feelings.
Bye.
That's your own personal feelings. Alexa Bliss.
Bye. Juice.
That is, wow, where's he been?
He's hurt.
Alexa Bliss.
She's gonna resign and then come back.
AJ Styles.
He's gonna resign.
KO.
Will resign.
Jinder Mahal.
Maybe.
I think he's going to become a backstage guy in NXT talent. NXT trainer. He's and plus he's got the big thing with India. He does a lot of
Even though he's not from there.
Nope, but he does a lot of the India stuff.
He's from La Cañada.
Canada?
La Cañada.
Canada?
Kinshasa?
Calm down. Kinshasa. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I would willingly
But
receive.
yeah, I mean, realistically, are there people on that list that could get released? 100%.
I think with this new TKO, good Lord.
We haven't seen the...
We haven't seen the cut list.
Yeah.
Now, remember, that's also during the summer.
No, it's usually right after Mania.
Maybe they did it differently this time. With that being said, auditorials, we'll be right back. We have made such amazing progress on this podcast journey and are pumped to share our first sponsor with you guys tonight, Dubby Energy. Dubby is on a mission to change the game and create a better future for energy drinks, and we are so excited to partner with them. Dubby is your taste buds' favorite energy drink that comes with all the good stuff and none of the crash. formulated with vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including their patented neurofactor. Dubby gives you clean energy and laser focus without any fillers, maltodextrin, or anti-official colors. Just mix 1 scoop with 8 ounces of cold water and you're ready to tackle whatever the day throws at you. Even better, Dubby ships worldwide, so whatever corner of the world you're listening to us from, you can enjoy it too. With some awesome flavors and growing following, see what all the buzz is about and get on board with the clean energy movement. Try it today with our exclusive promo code available to all GQ podcast listeners. With the promo code of GQPOD10. Once again, it is GQPOD10. Do better with Dubby. And welcome back, you auditorial human beings. While you were gone, not that gone for so long, but while you were gone, Garrett got up and got a piece of paper and drew lines and words on it. What do you have on your lines and words? Is this what I think it is who's going where?
This is going to be draft predictions. Now, big names.
Okay, no, hold on.
We're not going to be like, oh, we're going to do fucking Indus Share to SmackDown.
Right.
No. Like, we're talking A and B level.
So, I've got the list. Oh my. I've got the list of names right here. The list of superstars.
You're on the list!
No, they don't do that anymore. So, we have to take some names that are completely off already because they've already made their announcements. Cody's officially on SmackDown, so he's not going anywhere. So you take that one off. Cody's a SmackDown superstar. That's where the title reigns.
Dang it, that was a given.
What? Cody's they announced it on Monday that he's officially SmackDown. That is staying over on SmackDown. So which means Damian is staying on Monday Night Raw. So that's 2 names you cannot go with. Just my opinion. Also, because the Women's World Championship is vacant, that stays on Raw. So Bayley
Is it? Because we get a new champion on Monday before the draft.
I completely agree. But I think Women's Champ stays, and I think Bayley stays on SmackDown. So
are we just saying all champions stay?
No.
For that?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Because I think Logan will go.
Gross. I don't want to see him on fucking Monday night.
I think Logan will move to Monday night, and I think Sammy moves to SmackDown. That's my opinion. That's my prediction. But let that be said. So, also, before I get diving into this, did you see Adam Pearce's tweet today?
Which one?
And it caused such a whirlwind. He said just because someone is or will be a part of Hall of Fame class does not guarantee they do or will possess Hall of Fame class.
Love it.
And then he comments. So then it was literally, I think it was maybe less than an hour later, he tweets about himself in a meme and goes, me reading Twitter. And then after that goes, I forgot that the internet thinks that people involved in wrestling must always be talking about wrestling at all times on social media because wrestling.
Love it. Dude, I love Adam Pearce.
I got the biggest kick out of that. Anywho, I'm going to name off some names. You tell me where they go. Ready?
Sure.
Where does AJ Styles go? Because I think in my opinion, I think he moves. Do you think he stays? Or do you think he goes? Storyline's over.
Not really, because they've got a number 1 contendership match on Friday. You know what? I'm going to say that AJ goes to Raw.
You think he goes to Raw?
I think so.
Now, he's not a premium package with his brethren, but they also don't ever use their brethren anymore. I think AJ stays on SmackDown. Throw in a little bit of a curve. Currently on NXT, does Baron Corbin get brought back up to the main roster?
I think Corbin goes to SmackDown.
With his tag team
With
partner?
Braun. Yep.
Even though Braun was already on there this past Friday and looked Braun-esque. He almost killed someone.
Yep.
Do you think Baron
I'm
Corbin
going to say Corbin
moves up to
goes
SmackDown?
To SmackDown.
I agree with you. I think he honed his talent in NXT and got enough, got enough energy back, more life back in him. But they'd have to continue with the tag team title run with those two. Because I think they'd kill Theory.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Let Braun Breaker spear Grayson Waller in half.
Okay. What about a guy that hasn't been on TV, but has been inkling that he's ready to come back and he's been approved? Where does Braun Strowman land? Because I think he will be involved on the draft night as well.
I think Braun goes to SmackDown.
Why?
Because I think that is where we're going to see the resurgence of Taylor Rotunda.
Uncle Howdy?
That's what I said.
Okay. That's not a bad choice. They haven't officially said where the whole Uncle Howdy thing is going to land because it's been at both shows so far. Now, obviously,
Bray was on SmackDown.
He was, but then because this past week on Monday night they threw out the QR code, and
but they did it on SmackDown last week too.
Was there a QR code on SmackDown?
Yes.
I don't remember a QR.
It wasn't a QR code.
It was during the show.
Yeah.
It was during the commercial breaks. This was the first time they had a QR code was on Monday Night Raw. Now I agree. I think it's going to be on SmackDown as well. Braun's going to go to SmackDown. I agree. So
with that being said, I am also drafting Alexa Bliss
to SmackDown,
to Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, well, I think that's honestly a it's weird. I heard an animal of some sort. I agree with the Alexa Bliss comment. This is a truthful one. Where do you think I'm gonna hold back my tongue, Bronson Reed goes?
Bronson Reed stays on Raw.
Really?
Yep.
Why? Why does Bronson Reed stay on Raw?
Because I wholeheartedly feel that at this point in his game, I guess, he has the star power that currently Monday Night Raw so sorely needs.
It's a hot take, in my own opinion. I think he's mid-card only.
I don't think so.
I think he lost his opportunity and momentum with Australia. Even though he had a kid, and I know he pulled out because of this thing, he had a hot streak and he was going to be in that pot in the Elimination Chamber. And then when he pulled out for his son, now I am a big proponent for family, and I am a big proponent to being there for your kids. But because of the momentum that he had going into Elimination Chamber and him being out, look where he didn't land at all. He was not on WrestleMania. He was not on any cards before. He lost the momentum, and it was gone.
But he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So, I mean, it's a double-sided sword.
I know, and that's the thing. I feel right now, I think he could do more justice not winning the main title, but winning IC.
Or killing Logan Paul, becoming a U.S. champion.
Hot take, he's going to stay champ until SummerSlam and lose at SummerSlam.
To Bronson Reed. It's fine.
Long game.
Where are you leaving him on Raw?
I think the best thing for him is to stay on Raw. I think it's best for business as well. But anything can happen. Where is he? Oh, good night, nurse. Shut up. Where do you think Drew McIntyre lands?
Well, again, going back to the whole star power thing, I think Drew stays on Raw too.
You think so?
I think so.
You don't think he could have a resurgence over on SmackDown and go after Cody?
No, he doesn't care about Cody.
He did.
Punk will be on Raw. Priest is on Raw.
You don't think Punk will go to SmackDown?
No.
Really?
I think he's going to go to NXT.
No, you want him to go to NXT.
No, I want him to go the fuck home and stay there.
Can you imagine if Punk went to NXT and William Regal got to be with him?
So, speaking of William Regal, recently, I think earlier this week, WWE let go of their head of talent relations.
Mm-hmm.
I think their new head of talent relations is going to be one Sir William Regal.
Well, because they gave up his spot for Ava Raine and let her do it.
And I think that realistically, everyone on that roster respects the shit out of William Regal.
Who doesn't?
And
wait, AEW didn't.
I think sure they did.
Tony
let him go.
That's what I'm saying. They let him go
because he asked.
Because literally, he I don't think he liked it. I think he went there because it was an opportunity, but because Vince is gone, he went back home. He wanted to be at home.
I think William Regal takes over as head of talent relations.
Anyway. I like it. So let's see. I'm going down the list here. Does Damage Control split up their members and go to different shows?
I think the Kabuki Warriors end up on Raw. Asuka and Kairi.
Yeah. So then who would that leave? Dakota Kai
and Io.
I think Dakota Kai and Io stay wherever Bayley's at to keep going with their storyline, because I think that's going to go at least another. I think that's going to go to Payback and do a rematch for that title at Payback, kind of a thing. But yeah, I can see that. I think that would be helping for the women's tag team division on that show too, because we got to see what women's tag team looks like on Monday Night Raw, and well, it's hot garbage, and they need help.
You never pulled the trigger on Drew.
I think Drew goes to SmackDown, and I think Phil goes to SmackDown too. And you don't give a crap about Punk, but also you're really gonna put him down. What's that second line? What does that say? Does that say home? And
I'm petty. I don't give a shit.
So I've got a question then. Here's a name that you haven't seen in a while.
Sheamus.
No. I feel bad for Sheamus, though. I won't lie. There's a lot of things with Sheamus.
The Irish Santa Claus.
Oh my God. I think they brought him back too fast and he wasn't conditioned and ready to go, in my opinion.
He's got all these workouts he could have been doing.
I don't know. No, so did you see his injury?
I mean, he got married.
I get that, but you don't gain 50 pounds of pure fat.
I mean...
But did you see his injury? Like, he wasn't able to do anything weightlifting at all because of his injury with his neck. Like, they just released some photos of what he was, and he was hospitalized. He had a lot of things that were wrong, right, that he just wasn't able to do any of that. It's like when AJ got hurt, he just bulked up because he was able to, because his injury wasn't as bad to what apparently Sheamus's was. Here's a random name. Are you putting Sheamus on your list?
No.
What's that one? Did you put Punk up there?
Yeah.
Okay. He had a storyline a long time ago. But what about Dexter Lumis?
Because
I think they're going to start bringing him back a little bit more now that Indy Hartwell's finally starting to get more closure,
First NXT.
you're going to put Loomis back in NXT. I don't know what roster he's currently. Oh, he's on the Raw roster. But Loomis is. I think they're going to start using him a little bit more too.
Maybe.
I think they will. In my opinion, I think they will.
So are you putting Dexter on Raw?
I'm going to put him on Raw. I'm going to keep him on Raw with his lady. with yeah. Anyways, big one for good lord, with factions. Do they break up
The Judgment Day?
the Judgment Day?
Absolutely.
Well, Damien's not leaving Raw. So
I think what's going to happen is I think Finn Balor and JD McDonough are going to go to SmackDown, leaving
Dirty Dom,
Mommy, and Damien on Monday night. And I wholeheartedly believe that the tag team of Finn Balor and JD McDonough will be tag team champions within the year.
Within the year, not coming up at Payback.
No, within the year.
Okay, it's not a bad thing. I feel more bad for Finn than anybody else right now, for the sake of Finn. I think Finn's having
no.
I think
I'm going to say Balor and Balor only
to SmackDown
goes to SmackDown, and JD McDonough and Dominic
does a singles run over in SmackDown,
and they become a tag team.
I don't know. I think right now Finn's having the time of his life. I think he's having a lot of fun being just dorky Finn.
Weird.
Yeah, he's just dorky Finn.
But he's literally being Prince Devitt right now.
I do think you're right. I think they split up the Judgment Day. But if you put McDonough by himself, he'll fail.
He can't talk. He needs the mouthpiece.
Is that Christopher Daniels?
Who? Oh, it's Trent.
It's Trent.
Holy shit.
Oh God, he just pegged somebody. I think the best option is keeping everybody on Monday Night Raw. I think they're all gonna stay.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think it's ready. I think they haven't cooked with Damien being the head, because I think what's gonna happen now is Damien has to run the group. Even though Mommy's been running it, Damien's running the group now. So I want to see what they do with that. Let's see some other big names. Go down the list.
Randy.
I think Randy stays on Friday Night SmackDown.
You think so?
I think so. I think he's not Monday Night Raw anymore. I think he stays with SmackDown. Plus, with Cody there, he could have some good storylines with Cody. I think that would be good for them to be on SmackDown together. What about you with Randall?
Yeah, I think Randy stays on SmackDown.
Okay. Here's a big one. Another faction. What about Imperium?
So I think Kaiser and Vinci go back to NXT.
Okay.
And I think Gunther stays on Raw.
Stays on Raw.
Yep.
Stays for his title. The title that he wants. Not the title he had. The title he wants.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go
like what we said before, that he loses his title but goes after Damien.
Yeah.
I think they stay all together on Raw together. I think you can't have Gunther without Ludwig Kaiser. Now Vinci's different. You can't have Gunther without Kaiser.
I mean, you can.
Hey, it's Will Ospreay.
Bill Oceanspray?
Will Ospreay. It says on the title Will
Oceanspray.
No, right there.
Bill
Will
Oceanspray.
It says Will Ospreay.
I didn't see it. Bill Oceanspray.
Hold on. He looks like Seth Rollins right now. Hey, they're right there. Will Ospreay.
Bill Oceanspray.
Will
Oceanspray.
Ospreay.
Oceanspray.
Got it. We already know. Actually, we don't know this. Does Ilya Dragunov lose his NXT title on Tuesday, and come up to the main roster on Friday.
Yeah. He gets drafted to SmackDown.
SmackDown?
Or not. No.
You think Raw or SmackDown?
Raw.
Raw? I think he's ready. Do we believe that Carmelo Hayes or Trick Williams will also come up?
Well, if Ilya loses, it's to Trick.
Nope, because on Tuesday, another guy put his hat in the ring against Ilya. It was an open challenge that whoever could gaze into his eyes first gets the title fight, and it was not Trick Williams. It was another guy.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I saw a graphic of Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams at like beach break or spring break or whatever.
Bash of the Beach.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
For the title.
Yeah, and that's in a couple weeks. It's not this. It's not.
Well, I don't think Ilya's losing the belt to anybody but Trick.
But so I don't know when. I don't know when their next little pay per view is. But yeah, I think Trick will end up beating, and Ilya will come up. I think it's his time as well.
I think Ilya gets drafted up to Raw.
I'm trying to look for some other bigger names.
Same thing with Roxanne Perez.
I think Roxana stays down. I think she cooks a little bit more. She just got her title. She hadn't had a title forever. I think, oh God, what was her name? Not Roxana, the other one that had it forever. She lost it at Stand and Deliver.
Cora Jade?
Nope, she's hurt still. Bungalow. I can't remember her name, and I have all the names. I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh. Sweet Lord, I'm going to dig around for
Are you talking about Tiffany Stratton?
Nope. Stratton's going to be...
Lyra Valkyria.
Lyra Valkyria.
I think she stays on NXT.
Yeah, I think Lyra's more ready for it than Roxana is. Do they split up... thank you! After his heel turn on Monday?
I think they stay on Raw too.
Both of them?
Yep. All of them.
I think Maxine is going to get cut soon and back to NXT.
Maybe.
I think she's just... Everybody's hating on her right now. It's because... And if you haven't heard her story, it was the Max and Maxine, the Max and Male Models things. And when LA Knight got pushed to be LA Knight again, Maxine was like, what do we do? And Hunter threw her over saying, hey, no, you're going to train and do this and that. So she got called up way too early to a point where now she's gimmicky. And I hate that for her because she's not been trained enough to do wrestling yet.
So maybe she goes back to NXT and they pair her with Natalya.
Natty, or even if she wants to do like, I don't know, it's a Hollywood Blonde situation with the new girl that can't think of her name either. God bless. It's the other blonde that's tall that used to. God bless America. I could see her face too. The crap was her name? Hold on, I'll get it because I know her name. It's like Sun or Sue or it's
Sun Tzu?
No, she's.
Are you talking about Sol Ruka?
Sol Ruka. So putting Maxine and Sol Ruka, kind of like doing a Hollywood Blondes thing, and put them together and do that.
Finisher, dope.
I love it. Was it the inverted RKO? Pretty much what I call it.
Christ,
or inverted. Technically, it's like a diamond cutter, but
pepperoni nipples just killed Bill.
Yeah, I saw that. Let's see. I don't know if there's any other really, really massive names.
I think Ricochet stays on Raw.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a ton of spoilers out there.
I think Mello officially gets drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think SmackDown fits him perfectly.
Join the Pride.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Really. Unless they throw some massive curveballs that I just don't see, that it's going to be a pretty predictable Monday night, pretty predictable draft night.
What if Wade Barrett
came out of retirement,
gets drafted to NXT, and Booker T gets drafted to SmackDown? What if Michael Cole gets drafted to NXT?
Good Lord. Your dreams would be happy, and that's all I would care about.
So they draft McAfee to. I don't know.
They can't.
Because Corey Graves doesn't like him.
That's why they're on 2 different shows on purpose.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Booker T to SmackDown and Wade to.
Right. So, we're going to go through these Dynasty matches real fast, and because that is Sunday. So, I'm going to go to the very bottom, and we're just going to do shoot off the hip kind of feel, and you'll get your answers, and we'll go from there. There is a trios match: Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black.
House always wins.
House always wins, really, even though Malachi and Buddy are out the door.
House always wins.
Okay. I feel like it's going to be.
Honestly, no. It's gonna be Edge, the drunken hobo, and the chicken farmer.
Yep. Well, and no offense, I would love to see the House.
I love Mark Briscoe, but I love the House more. But I still think that the House loses.
Unfortunately, and I think that's our last time we'll see the trio together because Malachi and Buddy are going.
I think they're all going to leave.
I don't think Brody is.
Except for Julia.
Well, Julia's stuck. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. House Rules match. TBS Championship.
I think Julia wins.
With help?
Probably.
Okay. With
Sky Blue.
With Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Then we have the International Championship of Roddy Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. The former Undisputed Era members together. It's going to be Roddy Strong. It will be. It's not Kyle O'Reilly. He's not ready. It's pretty. No offense. No offense.
I love Kyle O'Reilly. He's a great athlete. He's a fantastic wrestler. However, he literally just came back from a ruptured testicle.
No offense to AEW, but this is the most predictable carded match I've seen in a couple years.
Predictable match on the card?
No, the whole night. Every match is really predictable.
I would really like to see a winner takes all trios title match between Bullet Club Gold and Acclaimed and Natty Ass.
But they haven't wrestled for their titles. It's been a minute.
A while. Yeah.
So then,
like I said, winner takes all.
So then you have the AEW Continental Championship of Kazuchika Okada versus Pac. Okada wins. And it's a Continental Rules match.
Whatever the fuck that means.
It's any under Continental Rules, meaning any outside interference is met with strict penalties. So nobody on either side.
So they're going back to the rules from the Continental Classic.
Correct.
Tournament. Okay.
Yeah. No outside interference.
Okay. Got it.
It's so it is. Women's World Championship, Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. Toni Storm wins. It's not going to be Thunder Rosa.
I disagree.
Really?
I think Thunder Rosa will win.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, he caught his ass.
Well, yeah, it's pepperoni nipples. Of course.
I don't know. As high as Tony Khan is on Toni Storm, he's that much higher on Thunder Rosa.
Agreed. Tag team championships, Young Bucks versus FTR. We've said it. No offense. I love FTR. Bucks win the titles. They're gonna heel out on this one like crazy.
They win their tag team titles.
Correct.
Yes.
Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson.
Honestly, so everyone in the wrestling world is saying that this match that hasn't even fucking happened yet is a candidate for match of the year.
I think it will be.
I think this match is going to shit the bed.
Think so?
Yep.
Why?
Just because.
Okay.
Because I want to have a contrary opinion to the walking refuse sack that writes a dirt sheet every week. Fuck you, Dave Meltzer.
Okay. Good
We
Lord.
had to take a giggle break because Justin pissed himself.
Oh my God, I almost died. So your take on Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson? You think it's not going to be? You think it's overhyped then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, like I said, I think it's going to shit the bed.
More
than likely not. But
I honestly, I don't want it to. I think, obviously, we've seen Ospreay do his thing, and Danielson's not been on top tier game for the last several months. I don't know.
I said it a couple weeks ago. Bryan Danielson is the greatest technical wrestler
In this generation?
possibly ever.
In this generation?
Possibly ever.
Who did we name as number one? Because it wasn't Brian. Was it? It wasn't framed man Benoit, was it?
No. Realistically,
Dean?
the only person that I could see rivaling in their prime
Malenko?
is Dean Malenko.
Okay.
But
Jericho?
Jericho's good, but
In his prime?
He's the technicality isn't there. I love Chris Jericho, but
and then we we know the outcome of this. We'll have an and new.
whose house? Months and months and months in the making.
Now.
It is Swerve's time.
Now. Because it's AEW.
There will be some stupid shenanigan. Hangman Page will probably come back.
Because we know it's AEW.
Or Danhausen.
Because we know it's AEW. Very well. What if he doesn't win?
I will stop fucking watching.
Because we know AEW.
We'll watch Hootie and the Blowfish music videos on Wednesday.
We'll move back to Thursdays. We'll move back to Thursdays.
We'll just stay on Wednesdays and we just won't watch Dynamite.
Or we'll just watch old reruns of good pay-per-views.
Yeah, we'll just put on fucking Monday Nitro from 1996.
That's probably where you're at right now on the
It
reruns.
is.
That's what I figured. What was their last match?
I haven't watched in a while. It's still the one where Hall shows up.
Yeah. Nice. If it's the way it should go, we'll have our first black AEW champion. His first ever title ever.
Yep.
He's well deserving, and we know it. Unfortunately, the way Tony operates sometimes, it's
stupid.
Hey, speaking of
stupid,
Sheamus, there's those pictures I was telling you about where he has all his neck injuries.
He's fine.
I think. Ooh, interesting. So this has just been reported
by
Bleacher, actually. Roman Reigns
is dead.
Will be having substantial creative input in this next run of the Bloodline storyline.
Who does he think he is? Hulk Hogan? That doesn't work for me, brother.
Oh my god. That's a really bad interpretation of Hulk Hogan. I think that's gonna be a good thing for him. I think it's gonna get him out of his shell a little bit more and actually have to be more creative and not be on television. Weird, I know. Anyways, hey everyone, that's the podcast, and we did it under time. Go us.
No, we're.
Are we 8 over? I can't tell if it's a 2 or a 3.
1 hour, 38 minutes, and counting.
To be fair, though, we keep it under that hour 45. I'm a happy human being. So are the other people, too. With that being said, this next week of wrestling hopefully is great. Friday going into SmackDown, and then obviously Sunday with Dynasty. And then Payback is coming soon, too, for WWE. We're at a point right now where it's the new era. Hopefully it goes great.
Season.
And with AEW, maybe they turn it around. Because I'm looking at an arena that is dark in the top quadrant of the arena for AEW.
Top bowl.
Yep.
Also, how crazy is it? NFL draft on Thursday, next Thursday,
Yep.
and then
WWE.
and then the draft, WWE draft, is that Friday and the following Monday. I think they played that real good.
I think with Dwayne being involved with the UFL and how they're directly correlated with the NFL, and now he's involved directly with TKO and WWE, there's going to be a lot more correlations with sports and with wrestling now, that it's going to be a really good time to be a wrestling fan and a sports fan, to be said. Actually, I will end it with this. I saw a recent mock draft for your Chargers.
Yeah, they're going to trade down.
I think it's going to be a good trade down.
Yeah,
because I saw today, and I actually trust this one, y'all might go after Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, that's only if they don't trade down.
Well, so what I saw was Caleb Williams at 1, Jaden Daniels at 2, Drake May at 3, and then you guys are at 5?
Yep.
They said that you might be able to stay at 5 and be able to still get Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think New York, the Giants, are going to trade up to 4 with Arizona and pick up JJ McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, and JJ McCarthy's at 4. And then you guys can get...
If Arizona trades down, which is a possibility, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to stay at 4, and I think they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
That sucks for you guys.
And if that's the case, the number 5 overall pick will be Joe Alt from Notre Dame.
So I saw Joe Alt going to the Titans to help
7?
Yeah, to help protect. Actually, it's protect. No, Kirk goes in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about Tannehill and Malik.
Tannehill's not there anymore.
No, it's Malik and somebody else.
Will Levis.
So who knows? The draft is a favorite time of the year for me, as I like seeing the new up and comers. I'm not really happy with the Cowboys right now because literally, there's fighting in the ring.
I think realistically, dude, I think the only trade that LA will make to get out of that 5 spot will be Minnesota's 2 first-round picks.
Shoot, Minnesota, they're making some moves. They're going to make it happen. I'm excited for it. With that being said, that is the end of the podcast. You can follow us on all the socials, on Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, TikTok. We have all of the things of GQ, a wrestling pod. Who's that? Oh, it's John. GQ Wrestling Pod, GQ Wrestling Podcast. The best way of getting the names out there, we say it every week, like, share, subscribe to anybody, everybody. It's really great to see that we're over 100. We're at 114 listeners on YouTube. We're all across the globe. We actually had some recent new listeners in another country that I was actually kind of surprised to even see. Let me pull that up.
Mexico?
No. It was geography. It was South Africa.
No, we saw that one.
India?
Last. Nope, that was there.
Was it the Philippines?
Nope, that was there.
New Zealand? New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand. Because I knew we had Australia because of my recent talks with amazing podcast down in Australia.
Down under.
Down under. Actually, if I remember, I want to shout them out because they're a really good group of guys down in Australia. I want to make sure I get their name right on TikTok. Down Under the Mat Podcast. They're on TikTok. Down Under the Mat Podcast. It's literally 3 guys. Yeah, 3 guys, kind of like us, sitting around a table, sitting on a couch, just
bullshit,
having fun. It's an Australian-based pro wrestling podcast, and literally they're just like us, giving different perspectives on just podcasts. And people might think it's detrimental for us to even talk about another podcast on here. Honestly, here's my thing. If we're not helping base the community out and listening to different opinions, then you're doing it wrong. You want other people's opinions. You want to be structured and strengthen how you can hear another comment and go, ooh, but what if you did this? Or how can you change this? And da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, follow us on all our social medias. We love to see it. Share, like, subscribe, all these things. Plus, in the next couple weeks, if we get to 150 subscribers, we're going to be, that's them, follow. If we get to 150 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway for a shirt. I'm very excited about that. 150 is a big milestone for us to be able to have that. So on YouTube, if you're out there, auditorial people.
There was one thing that we didn't talk about.
What?
The new tag belts.
They're shiny and I love them. They look like that.
Yeah. Anyway, actually, they look like the old ECW belt.
I love it. It looks good.
Anyways.
But yeah, once we get to 150, we're going to do a giveaway for a shirt. It's just a regular GQ Wrestling Podcast shirt, but still 150 subscribers on YouTube. So again, like, subscribe, auditorials, please. You're missing out. If you are not watching us on anything, you're missing out on all these things. So with that being said, you got anything else?
No.
So then I think we're going to end out with a beautiful song.
Some pretty heavy words early. We saw that. Taz, I got to ask, you know Joe extremely well. Yeah. Do you agree with his assessment of Swerve? You think Swerve's a choke artist? I don't agree with it. I understand what
GQ Wrestling Podcast.
I do not agree with Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. We bid you adieu. We thank you and good night and a little bit of that bang.
This Sunday at St. Louis in the main event of Dynasty.
We have made such amazing progress on this podcast journey and are pumped to share our first sponsor with you guys tonight, W Energy. W is on a mission to change the game and create a better future for energy drinks, and we are so excited to partner with them. W is your taste buds' favorite energy drink that comes with all the good stuff and none of the crash. Formulated with vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including their patented Neurofactor. W gives you clean energy and laser focus without any fillers, maltodextrin, or anti-official colors. Just mix 1 scoop with 8 ounces of cold water and you're ready to tackle whatever the day throws at you. Even better, W ships worldwide, so whatever corner of the world you're listening to us from, you can enjoy it too. With some awesome flavors and growing following, see what all the buzz is about and get on board with the clean energy movement. Try it today with our exclusive promo code available to all GQ podcast listeners. With the promo code of GQPOD10. Once again, it is GQPOD10. Do better with W.